Hey guys, Huzz here bringing you another video and welcome to a replay of something that I've already had quite a lot of people request. Huzz, what do I think of the pick? Am I going to do a video of the pick? Well, if I'm honest, I don't really know what the benefits of the pick is. So I thought a good idea would be do a replay of a challenger player playing Soraka top. So if you're completely in the dark, you don't follow pro player, you don't follow kind of the high rating meta, Soraka top has been gaining popularity. I don't know why. Obviously, I've seen it in pro play, and I can kind of get a general idea of what it does and how it works. But yeah, the question is obviously why. Now, I would say there is obviously going to be a difference between Soraka top in pro play and Soraka top in solo queue. We've said it many times before. You can't always compare the two because in pro play they are building a comp knowing they've got Soraka top. In this rating in solo queue, people are picking for themselves rather than picking for others. But looking at the actual team comp here, I'd say one of the weaknesses of Soraka top is obviously you're going to have technically two supports. And you might lack damage because you don't actually have a top laner. Anyway, an invade is happening. The Lee Sin and Soraka invading together. But you can see they are duo queue as well. So that might be another thing with this strategy. Maybe in order to make it work properly in solo queue, being duo queue obviously might help a lot. You can see the Gragas, by the way, really doesn't want to give this up. Enemy red team is coming over. Lee Sin does get the kill though. Kayle aggressively flashing. The Aurelia aggressively flashing. And now they're in a unfortunate situation that, you know, yeah, you're Soraka. She's not really going to be able to do much on level 1 comparing to other champions, but the Vladimir going all in is also going to now pick the kill. And, you know, if you ignore the Soraka, she will slow you, and you can see she's standing as much as she can in the way. Like, right now, the Aurelia could just be attacking the Soraka forever, but she's looking for that kill on the Vladimir, and Vladimir now, at the stage, regened, and will get the, well, probably dead. So, yeah, the Vladimir does die, but Soraka, in that whole play, Soraka, by the way, probably dealt the most damage of any champion. So that I'd say is one thing with this pick, is that it's probably underestimated and probably people ignore Soraka. She's okay. Like, for level 1, you know, yes, she can't do as much as other champions, but her Q damage is not terrible. Remember, she's a support, and supports have terrible scaling, but they've got high base damage. So it would have been doing decent, and it did look like that Soraka hit most of her Qs. But like I said earlier, maybe in order to make this pick work, you might have to be duo queue. So that is worth noting. But when I was, you know, saying, okay, you probably need a good team comp to make this work, if you actually notice blue team's comp, and, you know, the point I said earlier is if you're taking Soraka top, you might be lacking damage. Blue team isn't going to be lacking damage because they have a Lee Sin, a pure damage jungler. They've got a Vladimir, an absolute monster when it comes to damage, and Misfortune, one of the best AD carries in the game right now when it comes to damage. So in essence, you're not really missing much damage by having a Soraka top. Furthermore, another point that I would make in this game is when you're playing something like Soraka top, I would very much doubt you'd want two Enchanter supports. So obviously the type of support that Soraka is called Enchanter. They're the healers, they're the shielders and stuff like that. I think you'd want two different types. You can see the Kayle is playing relatively aggressive here. Obviously, if I was a Kayle in this matchup, I'd be probably pretty happy. You've got, in essence, a free scaling lane. But yeah, so in this game, they've got Leona. So Leona can focus on engaging and being tanky, and Soraka can then do the healing and stuff in the background. So that's another thing worth noting. I doubt you'd have two enchanters together on the same team. But really, you know, just to make it clear to people, what are the other benefits, I guess, of Soraka top? Meanwhile, a aggressive teleport's happening because if you look at the minimap, Lee Sin is coming. So this Kayle completely getting caught out, and they get the kill. So that was actually bad by the Kayle. You really, or should have been questioning, why is Soraka aggressively teleporting next to me? The only reason she's going to be doing that is the jungler's top lane. But another benefit, think of her as like the anti-Karthus, or like the opposition to Karthus. If you have a Karthus jungle, for example, he can ult from the jungle and help you do damage, let's say on bot lane, wherever he may be on the map. Well, Soraka from top lane does the same thing. Instead of doing damage, though, she's healing you. So I will say, you know, slight spoiler to this actual game, this Soraka finishes this game with a 78% kill participation. That's actually insane. So right now, she's obviously got, like, you know, she's been involved in 4 out of the 6 kills. So she's got a 66.6% right now. But the entire course of the game, she gets a 78% kill participation. That is really high. But obviously, what is the ticking time bomb to red team losing this game? You could argue scaling to somewhat. If a Kayle eventually pops off, blue team really don't have anything to stop a Kayle in a 1v1. Maybe a Vladimir, but then you're having to take your Vladimir away from team fights, which isn't good. Because, you know, eventually, you know, I would think the Kayle would start crushing the Soraka in the 1v1. She is a support after all. Worth noting, meanwhile, kill down in bot side. They are trading a little bit here or there, though. Worth noting, what build does Soraka top go? So, again, I did a bit of research into this before I started recording. I looked through a bunch of the best Soraka players, and this player, by the way, has only recently picked up the champion. I think this is I'll just double check just to make sure I'm not wrong or anything, but this is an AD carry player. So a Season 7 Master, Season 8 Challenger, Season 9 Challenger player. So obviously fantastic player. But right now, of me recording this, has only got 10 games. Meanwhile, getting Gan is probably a dead Soraka. Again, very easy to kill her, obviously. But only adds 10 games right now on Soraka. And obviously, this will be a slight spoiler, but you guys know what types of episodes we do in these. She currently has a 100% win rate. She has not lost a single game of Soraka while that they've picked it up. And majority of the games, it seems, that they're playing Soraka is Soraka top. Worth also noting, though, while I look through just some of the stats of this player, they are, they're not 100% a duo queue player, but they're a big duo queue player with this Lee Sin. Obviously, different people have different thoughts about it. I do myself think a bit less of people that only duo queue to climb. So, you know, can she get away with Soraka top more than the average player? If her Lee Sin is coming top lane a lot, then definitely yes. You do have to take that into account. So you can already see Soraka's spam pinging R, so a situation could happen. So what you just saw there, by the way, was Soraka ultimate, which, in essence, if you go back and watch it, didn't even do much healing. Why did she go for that ultimate? To get a kill, to get an assist, sorry. Overstayed by the Vladimir, that was quite bad. But yeah, that's it. So you'll just see the Soraka every time that she's got ult up, even if the healing is a bit... She doesn't need to get the healing on now. She'll use the ult basically on cooldown to help, because that's a lot of her gold income. You have to notice that, look at the farm difference already. The Kayle was winning farm pre-6. Kayle never wins farm pre-6. It's just because she's against a support in top lane, she's getting a free farming lane. So yeah, the majority of the gold income, or a lot of the gold income, for the Soraka is going to be just getting assists and having that kill participation. But like we were saying, I think before we get interrupted, the item build here is just a support build. I think it's a Fiend's Rush first and stuff like that. So yeah, you're not building anything special for being Soraka top. And while things apparently are calming down, you know, we're not going to see much action in top lane specifically. Some people may be interested, like, what do I really think of the pick? Like, I was interested in it. Would I recommend it? I think people know the answer to that is definitely no. It's a very interesting strategy that, again, I do think needs a good team comp to make work, because otherwise, if you've got a comp that falls off and you're playing Soraka top, well, then you don't do any damage, so you're having a massive gap, a massive hole, because you're picking something like Soraka top. In pro play, it can work, because obviously they know they got a Soraka top, so they can build around it. In this type of play, it's worked out quite well, because it's a Vladimir and a Lee Sin and a Misfortune. That goes quite well. And also, we've said it already, I do think that the pretty much permanent duo queue is a big factor in this as well. If you're a pure solo player, I wouldn't be personally playing this pick. So again, like we said, look who's top lane again, the Lee Sin. So I think that's a big thing about this, is if you go through the profiles, and I went through about 3 players' profiles, by the way, to find this replay. There were a few that I could have done. They were all practically duo queuers. So if that's how you have to make this pick work, then there you go. So they do kill Misfortune, and I think they killed her on a DC. I don't think that was a rage quit, but I think that was a DC, which is unfortunate. Again, DCs still happened in high rating, believe it or not. It's kind of crazy that they do, but they do. Right now, the enemy team is at a slight gold lead, even though they are behind in 1 kill. Does show that farming does make a difference. You know, bot lane's got a farm lead, mid lane's got a farm lead, and top lane has got a farm lead. So, yeah. So Soraka's going to go back. Maybe Athene's? Yep, does pick up her Athene's and cooldown reduction boots. So that's how much this player and the pick of Soraka top is just a support pick. It's just building support things. So yeah, I was definitely interested in, like, why has this become a thing? I don't know the origin of it, and there's the misfortune. I don't know the origin of it, by the way. If someone wants to let me know, feel free. If I had to guess, it's probably Korea. Korea, for some reason, always come out with these weird things. And then what usually happens is some people play it correctly, but then a lot of people play it incorrectly. So I'm hoping this video just sheds the light on it's okay, it can work, but it's in very, very certain circumstances. You need a team comp that works with it. Duo queuing obviously helps, and obviously the reason it works in pro play is because, you know, they're all pre-made. Soraka not actually noticing the Kayle. Misfortune disconnected again. So yeah, this isn't, I don't think, rage quits. This is a misfortune with connection issues. Big fight does actually happen, and Leona gets herself killed. But yeah, so far the game is roughly even. If the misfortune though can, you know, get her internet connection sorted, that would be good. So Gragas top lane. Lee Sin is in the general area. Again, these two being very big duo queue players, you'd think their communication level would be pretty good. Bard's also in the area. Bit of healing for the Soraka herself there. Gonna go maybe for the Bard. He does get queued. He's gonna go for the kill, does Lee Sin. Does get it in the end. Soraka actually picks it up. Lee Sin now going for the Gragas with now the Leona nearby. They're gonna go for the blasting part. They are gonna go for the Gragas in the end. Leona stunned with the E. Gragas stopwatching. Do not think this is gonna be enough. He's gonna get himself killed. So that was a wasted stopwatch. You see it all the time, guys. Do not waste your stopwatch. You have to remember, yeah, even if you got it from your runes, that you're taking stopwatch from inspiration, that is 600 gold in value from a rune. You really don't want to waste. Just accept the death when you know you're dead. Don't just waste it willy-nilly, because the next time, that might have saved your life. Meanwhile, the misfortune reconnects again. Hopefully this time her connection is fixed. But yeah, so worth noting, the Soraka has got 8 kills involvement out of the 12. So that is what, roughly, that is 80% kill participation. As we mentioned, she keeps that 80% roughly throughout the whole game. This episode, which one thing that I did kind of see as a pattern of Soraka top through all the replays that I was looking at, high kill participation was a common trend. And I think it is because it's the Karthus effect. Karthus usually has high kill participation, even if he doesn't get all the kills, because he's damaging 5 people, and then if his team kill 4 of them, well, his ult helped kill those 4 people, he gets 4 assists every time. Or with Soraka, she ults, she heals her team, they kill the enemy team, well then again, she's gaining all of those assists. So it's something that is worth noting if you are wanting to play this pick, which, yep, if you want to, go for it, I guess. Know that high kill participation is what you're looking for. Now again, ultimate is ready. Soraka is teleporting, that's Soraka. They are going to try and heal. Heal's not come out. There's the heal instantly. Now Lee Sin's coming for a counter invade. They are now going to kill everything. And Lee Sin gets a double kill. So yeah, the teleporting Soraka, baby. Don't even know if it was needed to do the teleport, if I'm honest. Maybe the Soraka ultimate itself would have been enough. But in essence, like, another pattern I will say, I don't think you need teleport as Soraka top. So when looking through and researching, a lot of the Soraka tops were having quite a lot of high deaths that were taking teleport. One thing that I think was a big benefit was taking barrier in top lane. And all you're doing is staying top and ulting whenever possible. Because in essence, let's for example say you're against an actual top laner that has early pressure. Like Kayle obviously scales really well, but she has very little early pressure. If this Soraka was against a Darius with Ghost or a Renekton with Ignite, I think she would have been massively more in trouble, like even getting Dove. And teleport obviously is not very good when you're getting Dove. So barrier obviously is a great defense to that. And there's an argument maybe she took teleport this game because she was against the Kayle, possibly. But that is another thing worth noting. You don't need teleport in as this pick because you're not really looking to teleport to go gank. You're looking to just survive, get as much farm as you can, and have that global healing pressure. But yeah, again, there are a couple other picks here or there that are a little bit weirder as well that some people may want me to check out and have a look. One of them is Ornn mid. Again, Ornn mid to me isn't really worth checking out. I'd actually rate Soraka top better than Ornn mid. the only reason that Ornn mid is being played is one of two things. One, it's statistically and stat-wise, he's a strong champion right now. Secondly, he's a counter to a lot of things in mid. That's it. There's nothing really special about the pick. It's just there to survive and be annoying. And because he's stat-wise strong, that's why he's being played there. It's not something that I would ever play in solo queue, to be honest. So yeah, big things happening. Soraka ult comes through, does pick up the assist. If the Lee Sin picks up another kill, she will get that as well. Doesn't in the end, backs off. Whoa, I randomly didn't see that Kayle. Okay, that must have been a teleport because, again, replays are bugged right now. Big damage. Soraka, the ambulance coming through. Doesn't get the heal on Lee Sin, but does get the heal on Kayle. Not sure if anything more is going to come of this. There is a flank potentially coming below. They are pinging. There's the Aurelia. They could be in trouble. Is the Soraka. She does get hit by Aurelia. Flashes, though. Does survive for now. Vladimir now in the area. They could actually go for this kill onto the Aurelia herself. The Kayle doing a lot of damage. Soraka did ult. No, she didn't. She just healed the Misfortune. Big heals actually coming through. Vlad by himself, going to try and pick up a couple kills. Kayle going aggressive, and again, she's had a relatively free game to scale, so this Kayle could be scary. Vladimir, though, in a 3v1, getting one kill on the Aurelia. Gragas misses his E, which is a big deal. Vladimir nearly got his passive up. Now Lucian's in the area, does pick up the kill, and overall, there we go. Crazy stuff happening. Actually kind of funny to see, if I'm honest. So, yeah. Right, so Rift Herald might be being done. Again, generally people ignore Rift Herald the higher rating you go, because for the time it takes for you to do it, it really doesn't actually give you that much. It gives you like 2 tower plates, if that. It takes too long to do to warrant 2 tower plates. That's why you do not see high rating players really care about it that much. Leveling order, by the way, for Soraka, obviously maxing the ultimate whenever possible, maxing then Q, then the W, which actually does surprise me, and then the E. So why does the W surprise me? Well, she's mainly top lane alone. So the W, she can't W herself. She is going to pick up no assist. She did not manage to get a heal there. Will they save the top lane tower? Maybe. Top lane tower is on 82 health. They saved the top lane tower with 2 health. That was close. And now she will just return to top lane and probably farm a bit. So, yeah. But overall, like, again, I wanted to do this video just to kind of see what the hell it was about. I doubt she's going to be doing that, by the way. What it was about, and I had an idea what it was about. Is it a cheese pick, by the way? Yes, 100%. If it doesn't work, you're going to be a massive liability to your team. So, yes, it is a cheese pick. I wouldn't recommend it. I would only recommend it either in pre-made play, so in clash mode, flex mode, or if you're playing in a duo queue, probably with the jungler. If you're playing like your 2 supports duoing and one's going Soraka top, Soraka heal comes through, does pick up the kill. If you're playing like you're duo queuing, oh, I'll go Lulu bot or whatever, and you'll go Soraka top, I really don't think that's a good idea. I think you need because without Lee Sin going top lane so much, this Kayle would have had even a freer lane. So that's my overall thoughts. I do see the strength of it. I definitely see the strength of it if you can get away with it. If your team is good at doing damage, and like we said earlier, you've got a Lee Sin that's building pure damage. You've got a Vladimir mid, one of the highest damage mid laners, and you've got a Misfortune who, even though is having a rough game, she is still going to be doing a lot of damage with her ultimate and everything. So in this game, definitely you can get away with it. But for example, let's just change up the comp a little bit. So you have Soraka top, but then if you had like a Janna bot lane or whatever, Sona bot lane, that will be not great because then you're losing out on engage, where usually your top laner is an engager. Well, obviously you can't do that, Soraka. So Leona's good with it. But then you swap out the Leona or a Nautilus, you put that in Enchanter, well, that makes the Soraka top pick worse. Swap the Lee Sin for a Sejuani or something, like a tank, that would make the Soraka pick worse. Swap the Vladimir for a more low kind of sustain-y damage, that would make it worse. So again, a lot of things would make this work a lot worse. You need a good team comp to pull it off. So Misfortune's on her way. She does have pretty quick movement speed. They are going to take over the dragon pressure. Kayle is top lane, by the way. At the end, this team now knows it. Aurelia might be completely killing herself here. She's really by herself. She's going all in. By the way, all in for the Soraka. So that is worth noting, is that Aurelia just went like, I am trying to kill this like Soraka 100%. Now, why would that be? You cannot underestimate, and this isn't just about Soraka top, this is about Soraka in general. You cannot underestimate leaving a Soraka alive in team fights. with her healing in general, with her silence, with her slows, she is such an annoying pick. There you go, massive heal. She actually gets the kill there. They are lovely play by Lee Sin. But yeah, like Soraka sometimes is 100% a priority target to kill when you're in even normal games. When there's a Soraka in support, she is still a priority thing to kill because of how annoying she is. The AoE heal, the silence, the healing in general. You know, she's got a redemption now. So that Aurelia really prioritized, I need to try and kill the Soraka. It didn't work. She survived. And something that we also said earlier, she survived with taking teleport. If she had barrier, she'd even be safer. So yeah. So this game is going pretty well. Soraka now involved in 18 out of the 25 total kills. Lee Sin has had an incredible jungle pressure this game with being really fed. Obviously, AP Gragas as a champion, it's okay, but if it gets behind, it's really weak. And now Baron is being started up. So hopefully Miss Fortune will come over and help. Again, I don't know if this Miss Fortune actually has been raging, or has just been like DCing. Because, yeah, she's not really helping or getting involved too much. She is coming over now, but a little bit late. And they will try to go for the Baron. So the enemy team has control warded it. You can see there the Soraka is going to try and kill it. So obviously, guys, Steel is at risk here. A Bard ultimate coming to slow them down, which gives time for people to get there. Don't think it's going to be quick enough. Gragas, though, in the area. Lee Sin, wonderful play there. If you don't know what he just did, I actually want to show that and highlight it because it was actually fantastic. So watch this area. So Gragas, you can start to see very soon here. So they know Gragas is here. Lee Sin goes over, kicks him over the wall, then returns to the Baron pit, and then kills the Baron with the Lucian's help before Gragas can actually go and steal it, or have a chance to steal it. So that Lee Sin is very clean. Really nice to see. Aggressive play is happening. They're not going to get much out of it, I don't think. They are actually going to go all in for it. Vladimir just gets himself completely banged. Will get himself killed. Soraka now fighting with the enemy Lucian. Lee Sin with a couple missed spells will manage to survive. Miss Fortune not managing to do much. Will she get the kill? Nope, she does kill herself. Randomly going all in there. Very weird positioning by that. Leona's going to try and survive. Again, meanwhile, which I actually, by the way, potentially agree with this, Kayle is just split pushing. Now, what I don't agree with is staying too long and getting herself caught. But, yeah, so there are one of two... Oh, really nice ultimate. Again, replay files bugged. But you can see the strength of Kayle, you know. She nearly is 2v1ing them. And if the game can go longer, this Kayle has got, like, basically 100 far more than Soraka. So I would say another thing with the Soraka pick, it's definitely a ticking time bomb that, you know... Is it really good to have two supports? Not really. Like, maybe if you've got a literal hyper carry, like a Kog'Maw AD carry or something like that, sure. They don't this game. So it could be a potential ticking time bomb that eventually the idea of having a balanced team comp, which this team comp is balanced. This team comp technically isn't balanced. Having a balanced team comp will eventually probably overtake this pick, as long as you just play it kind of smart. And Kayle split pushing there is slowing down the enemy team. Now, again, it's slowing them down until she overstays and gets herself killed. She shouldn't be doing that because now she's, like, dead for a while. So, yeah, like, that's the worst thing noting. Really, if I was red team, the biggest thing that I would be trying to do is just slow down the enemy team. To win this game, their biggest chance is just delaying the game. Again, the Miss Fortune's having a terrible game, so killing her is good, but they did blow quite a lot to kill her. The enemy team is going to continue this fight. Vladimir is now on the area, and remember, they used a lot just to kill this Miss Fortune. So do they really have much damage left to kill the rest of them? Not really. Then on top of that, you have a Soraka that's going to be mega healing everything, so... Yeah, Lee Sin going all in, doesn't die, maybe? Does die, pops his GA. Vladimir, though, the beast, obviously, himself, getting a bunch of kills, and that does die himself, and they will have to back off. So you can see, the enemy team is gaining some momentum here. Lee Sin does pick up a kill, nice kill, actually, by him. This Lee Sin, again, very clean. Soraka, by the way, went down in the background, and now they will probably end up losing the fight. So there's a combination, really, that red team is pulling this back from two massive reasons, I'd say. One, the Miss Fortune is definitely having a bad game. Positioning-wise, getting caught all the time, not really managing to get her ultimate off in team fights. So that's number one. And number two, you're starting to see the shift of, oh, they have a Miss Fortune, they have a Soraka top. So you're starting to see that. I'm not sure, like right now, the enemy, I'd say blue team, if they play it correctly, they still have the advantage right now if like the Miss Fortune doesn't get caught or anything. But give it 5-10 minutes and then they might not. So again, Miss Fortune, once again, bad positioning, has to burn heal for no reason really, other than just iffy positioning. But Lucian still picks up the kill, which again is pretty bad for Misfortune. But again, maybe if they are DCing, maybe the defense to the Misfortune, maybe she's really lagging or something, possibly. But Soraka ultimate didn't actually come down there. Don't think it was on cooldown yet, because that might have saved the Misfortune, or simply the Soraka didn't use it to save her. Dragon now, and this would be the Dragon Soul. So this is a big fight. Bardo coming through, does manage to get 2 people, but Vladimir, the absolute monster that he is, Soraka needs to put her ultimate, does get the ultimate, does get the heal. Look at the healing, look at the survivability. Obviously also Spirit Visage, by the way, just to, again, just be that tanky extra thing. I've even seen Soraka support build Spirit Visage in the past, but this is the premise that I've spoken about, you know. Would having a actual bruiser top lane this game make much of a difference when you have an absolute monster of a Vladimir and a really fed Lee Sin? The answer is probably no, unless it gets to like 40 minutes into the game. Right now, these two can snowball the game. Vladimir, just getting his combo off, can kill like 3 people. So that is worth knowing. Lee Sin lands a lovely Q. They will pick up the kill with the Vladimir. They're now moving into the enemy team base. Vladimir now going to go for it with the Lee Sin unstoppable. So yeah. So this game has been a great example of it can work. It's got a great KDA. It's doing fine. But it's probably not going to be the star of the show. It's there in the background. Trust me, this Soraka is doing a lot in the background. They're healing a lot, the Q slows, the silences, all that stuff. It is helping, but if they didn't have a 16-4 Lee Sin, if they didn't have a 12-7 Vladimir, this game probably would be slightly different. So the Aurelia now getting caught herself. Soraka coming in with the teleport. She is going to get a heal on the Lee Sin. He finished off the kill. Leona actually finished off the kill with the Ignite. They are now going to look to win the game. And there we go. So the title of this video is most likely something along the lines of, is Soraka top legit? The answer to that question is kinda. It's kind of legit. Because it can work. This game, it clearly worked. 4-2-25 is an amazing KD. As we said earlier, it's a 78%, I think, kill participation. That's really good. It kind of works, but it is a cheese pick. If it doesn't work, you're probably the reason that your team is going to lose the game. So do it at your own risk. My just overall thoughts about it, we've said them throughout the game. I only think it's worth doing if you're duo queue. If you're a pure solo queue player, I really don't think this would work, because I do think you'll need jungle pressure here to help. You even saw the Kayle has completely owned the Soraka and outfarmed everything. Even, you know, down here, the Kayle was nearly 2v1ing them. And this was a weak Kayle because of how much Lee Sin went top. So if you don't go top lane to help the Soraka, it's just going to be a really fed top laner on the enemy team. So that's one thing. I think it has to be a duo queue situation to make it work. Secondly, I don't think you can just do it willy-nilly in a random team comp. I think you need to have a specific team comp to make it work. And engaging support, I think, is needed, because usually your top laner is engaging, usually. But obviously as a Soraka, you're not doing that, so you need a support to do it. I think you need a damage jungle, so a Lee Sin, a Kha'Zix, an Elise, something that's built to do damage. And then I think you need kind of hyper carries as your actual carries. Now, Misfortune was relatively irrelevant this game, but yeah, the really fed Lee Sin who snowballed the game, and a hyper carry Vladimir mid lane. Obviously, that is very good. So that's my overall thoughts. I think it kind of works, but it's in a pre-made situation, it's in a tactical situation, and it goes without saying, one of the worst things that you can do in this pick is probably die. This Soraka didn't really die much. She died to 1 gank, I think, and then 1 time in a team fight or something. So yeah, she only died twice, so that's really good. If you die 8, 9, 10 times as Soraka top, again, you're probably going to be the reason that your team loses the game. So that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you've got any more picks that you want me to check out, they're a little bit weird, let me know. It's, again, not something that I recommend, but this is more learning what the hell is the pick about. Why are pros doing it? And they're doing it because it's basically extra protection, an extra layer of healing for their hyper carries. That's pretty much why. But that's it. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.